My name is Erik Nelson. I'm a sophomore at Suffolk University pursuing a double major in finance and economics. Today it is my privilege and my honor to introduce to you Suffolk alum Tucker Matheson. So Tucker, thank you very, very much for sitting down with me today, and thank you for sharing your time with me today too.
Yeah, no problem, man. Looking forward to it.
So to kick things off, I'll start off by kind of asking you to tap into your first year as a student at Suffolk.
Sure.
And I'll ask you, did you have any idea of what you wanted to do when you graduated?
Yeah, no, it's a great question. And you know, for me, like, I was a transfer student into Suffolk, so my experience at Suffolk was really coming in junior year. But kind of taking a step back, my college career was sort of, I did a semester at Roger Williams University in Rhode Island. Kind of quickly after that, my father got transferred to New Zealand to run Ford Motor Company of New Zealand, and they would pay for my school. So he sort of said, you know, get down here. I'm not going to pay for your school in the States.
Right.
So did a year and a half down there. In '08, Ford Motor Company was on the brink of bankruptcy due to the financial crisis. So they moved our entire family back to the States. And at that time, I had been able to get, you know, different exposure to accounting, IT, just through my coursework and various, like, you know, either leadership programs or internships in New Zealand or, you know, during the summer when I was back here. So I started to zero in on accounting, but really going in freshman year, I would say, you know, didn't really know where things were going to lead by the time graduation rolled around.
Right. So we'll move forward a little bit, say maybe sophomore or junior year, even senior year. We'll talk about internships. What kind of internships did you participate in, and how did those internships internship experience help you to better understand what it is or what it was that you were interested in?
Yeah, no, I think that's an awesome question. I had not so much a breadth of internship experience. I had really 2 internship opportunities, like formal internship opportunities. I had kind of, like I said, like different opportunities to get on the job kind of access, but not in like a job setting while I was in New Zealand. But once I transferred back to the States in 2008, I got a job at a marketing organization down in Hingham, Massachusetts, that really focused on marketing to financial services companies. And within that organization, I worked there for 3 years, almost full time while I was in school, because I was a commuter student. So I was working like 35, 40 hours a week for them on top of classes. And I think that dynamic of working full time plus being in school gave me a really good perspective once I entered work of like how to balance my time. But even within that company, I worked in sales, marketing, finance, and got to a point where I built a really strong relationship with the president of the company and the VP of operations, and they were doing like a whole company rebrand to, you know, they had some strong competition coming in their space, and they needed to rebrand as a company, seem more cutting edge, and so they brought in a lot of like consultants to help them, you know, think about, you know, what does this company mean? What are your core values? How do you want to convey that in a brand messaging standpoint? And being involved in that project, I felt like I had some ownership in it, and I really liked the aspect of like helping companies create things and solve problems for themselves. So I think that maybe eventually led into consulting for me. The other internship was at PricewaterhouseCoopers. I interned in our private equity and venture capital tax practice. First summer right before graduation, and it was a lot of work. It was 80-hour weeks, you know, pretty much just getting pounded with busy season. But you know, I think what I took away from that was really discipline and really being thoughtful in your work, right? Like, these are tax returns and things for companies that are going out the door, so you need to make sure that everything's correct and sort of is top quality. So those were my 2 internship experiences, and I think definitely put me on a good footing for when I, you know, eventually was ready to enter the workforce.
What do you think is one of the most important skills that you use today in the workplace that should be focused on during your undergraduate years, or could be improved upon in your undergraduate years?
Yeah, I would say across the board, students really need to crisp up their interpersonal skills, right? Now, what I mean by that is a couple different things. So, like, I know at Suffolk we have like that professional communications course. I don't know if Judy Navola still teaches it, but
yeah, I think it is still around.
Basically, that was like my only exposure to professional communications while I was at Suffolk. But like, the name of the game once you start working is how well can you communicate with your teams? How well can you manage up to your manager so they know what you're doing and what you need from them, right? Kind of setting expectations all around, and then how well can you kind of facilitate a meeting? How well can you present in front of others? If you have a project that gets landed on your desk and you don't have, the bandwidth to do it all yourself, how can you get connected with other people to help you do that? So I think the interpersonal skills are, really most important in my mind. It seems like when I was in college, I probably thought those were like the least important skills. But being able to connect different people and you leverage different knowledge pools that people have to help make your work be more efficient and a better product in the end. And then secondly, like, how do you present that out to the client or your internal teams, or even just picking up the phone and like, they send you like a sales job. How are you interacting over the phone? I think those skills are vital, and I think any opportunity you have in college to do presentations or just get out of your comfort zone. I mean, I used to be like so scared to present, like literally, like I would just be sweating bullets. And over time, just through repetition and just failing a couple times, right? I just realized, like, hey, it doesn't matter. Like, let me just kill this and do a good presentation this time. And over time, you become more crisp in how you present and how you interact with others. But that confidence, like, enables confidence in other people within you. So I would just focus on, how can you get those skills outside of the classroom in a more real life setting, whether it's through internships or going to networking events and just meeting different people. Really working on your interpersonal skills, I would say, is definitely top for me.
Thank you again, Tucker, for your time today. Thank you for being with me, and I'm sure that the underclassmen at Suffolk will certainly benefit from your experience and from your advice. So thank you again, Tucker.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, guys.